Right, this makes
Got
this
it.
is active. Yep, it's active now, so... Hey, let's Grieving Mother's Past. I mean, that's time-based. As you go with her, you'll eventually unlock it. Dear third fan, which my alien disappearance. I might be able to make it for the traps now. Before the end of this palace. With Kana. Spend time traveling with Durance. Well, question one of those, I may have to ask them questions. So we'll talk to Durance and exhaust some of his...
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
I want to ask about the region and history. Can you tell me about the Hollowborn?
That's a curse that runs deeper. It's a god hammer of a different sort. And like the god hammer, it was made by men's hands.
All things have a price. Left unchecked, faithlessness, virtues leaves marks on souls, until souls don't have the strength to enter bodies that are pure. Animancers, ciphers, all who play games with the fabrics of the souls are to blame for this barren field they leave behind. Even watchers can do the same. Some simply watch, others try to weave souls, guide them as surely as widen across Vendur. This is why I correct the Hollowborn when I find them, and the ones whose hands have led to this seed being spilled on the ground. Correct the Hollowborn.
There are fewer souls. There are more vessels. It is simply equaling of the process.
So it doesn't bother to end them. It doesn't bother you to end them.
I feel more remorse in putting down a slathering hound. A wict? Less than a mongrel in its misery. Murder is a kindness, not a crime. Always has been. I would sooner put the blade to those who are to blame instead. If any spirit should be punished, it's theirs.
And who's to blame? The fields of Deerwood are filled with weakness, ripe for those to play with souls' minds. Animancers and their kind, watchers too, they bear more of the burden than their victims, and more of the punishment. Every year I've seen a new crime, the Saints' War, the Hollowborn, and the Salvation. Now, there's no proof the watchers are to blame for these events. There are few who can shape a soul in such a fashion, and any watcher, any true watcher born in the Deerwood, will be able to see the crime, even if they do not cause it. Silence itself is damning. Why don't you end me then?
Murder you? I would not grant you any of them. The mercy I grant the Hollowborn. You would not be deserving of it.
You equate murder with mercy?
Murder is an old word. Mercy is letting a soul fly free to the next body. True punishment? Ruining someone to their soul. Crack their spirit like you would crack their skulls with a staff. Beat them. Hurt them in mind and body, so their souls become shards. But you leave it inside the vessel, like a bag of glass, to either choke on it, or pass it through their bloody stool. Then, leave it in the body to think on it, like planting a new field with the right seed.
That sounds like you're committed it to memory.
Many marks may I make upon your flesh, but flame leaves marks that cannot heal. Magran doctrine dictates true punishment is one that remains in memory, in the soul, in the flesh. Even should the victims die, slowly or swift, sometimes by their own hand afterwards, the lesson lingers, burned in their flesh.
There's a certain justice in that, yes.
Have you seen a man branded by flame? He remembers it always, in every waking movement. It is a lesson writ in the only ink and vellum that matters. Blood and flesh. One can burn the soul as well. It is an art, and I do not take pleasure in it. But there is more at stake here than forgiveness. Many of Aethys' faith were punished in the purges following the Saints' War. And the ones that harmed children, they suffered worse.
Fucking hell. What do you mean?
We did what must be done. Wherever they were rooted out, their souls reclaimed. And if they couldn't be reclaimed, we ensured they would never inhabit another body.
Okay. What is the Godhammer? Do you think there's any tie between Hollowborn and the Godhammer?
Aethys was the god of rebirth, and his light does not fall on the Dyrwood. I've heard some claim it's his doing, his death. It's closed the halls to new souls. I doubt it. The Hollowborn have their roots in the acts of men, women. I feel it.
Okay. Yeah, what is the Godhammer?
Gods have taken flesh, in all respects, taking willing and unwilling vessels. It's not a violation, it's what gods do, as long as they accept all that comes with it. Men are weak. Gods, well, we showed old Widwen that he was flesh and blood, no matter how much light was pouring out of his farmer's hands. Took men of faith to build a weapon, a Godhammer. Judgment. Proved him dead at Halgot Citadel.
It was a weapon of Dyrwood's people, their independence. Sorry. And I've had this cough a long time, it's nothing to do with fucking corona. There's a few that would deny that Aethys overstepped. The Godhammer reminded Aethys of this. The fire and force so terrifying, so bright it burned a god away. Endurance holds his staff and his hands locked around it, tracing the etchings. As you watch, the top of the staff blossoms, burns brightly, Endurance speaks, his face illuminated in the fire. A weapon that would burn brighter than Aethys, and we led him to it and burned him at the stake. The stake was the Godhammer, and we impaled him on it. You said you fashioned it? It wasn't easy, shaping it, crafting it, the pieces, the curve of the relic. Even then, it was a massive thing, something that required a god to come to it rather than be cast at him. Though luring him to it, that was the easy part. Gods are prideful. What happened? We led him to the fields, one that he remembered as a farmer perhaps, the field right outside Halgot Citadel, now Godhammer Citadel. It was right across the Evendur Bridge, an easy trek. Men died, and then more died, luring Aethys onto Evendur. We had carved veins and passed through the bridge, excavated the foundations, filled them with powder and ember-hungry grains, eager to burn. Our hands had even pried the mortar and rock loose, sharpened them to point so that they might be rent from their foundations easier, and tear through the flesh of that pretender. And so you used Evendur against Aethys.
We poured the Godhammer into its foundations with faith. Set it alight. Let the hammer fall, upwards onto the anvil. 8 died before the Godhammer fell, and the Godhammer claimed the remainder. 12 in all.
And Aethys went back to the Ether, or his grave. He lost his voice and his love of war, I'll tell you that much. It only took taunts by men, and that was enough to lure him across the bridge, and right onto the new sun. Well, I've seen part of the Deadfire game, or Pillars 2, and it's revealed he actually knew it was there and just walked on of his own accord. Because he had other reasons for getting blown up. He wanted to be blown up, basically. It let Raid Ceres see how bright the arrogance had become, and then became a symbol by which we answered their purge with one of our own. Purges?
We started saving the Aethasians from themselves, burning any that didn't die with their god. Heresy in Raid Ceres is one thing. Heresy here in the Dyrwood comes with a more personal touch.
So you answer So you just answered the crime with one of your own? Yes, that seems like an answer for me.
As I see it, every Eothasian who still lives in the Deerwood puts the nation at risk, is another dagger held to the throat of our faith. Root them out, burn them, or send them back to Raed Ceres to wallow in the blood of their failure.
See, I can agree with punishing criminals without killing them, so they understand that they're wrong. But the Eothasians weren't the criminals here. Although they didn't know that, it's still, from an outsider point of view, it was wrong. Anyway, I wanted to ask about the regional history. Keep troubling me, I might extend the time goal for each question. Enough questions for now.
Got it.
In other words, shut up. Right, let's see what we're going on. Finish in 11 hours, curio shop. Okay. So apparently my Monarchy is connected to my prestige. Right. 22 hours and 15 minutes. Okay. Hang on, if I went there, one day, there, 18 hours, and then I could start building something else and move on to Copper Lane. Ah, see, that's thinking with your brain. Instead of wasting the 11 hours in between, I'm only wasting about 8 hours yet. 7-8 hours yet. Of course, I could have tried going to the area just before that to see if I could get 11 hours, but it'll do. I'm not min-maxing the fuck out of this. So. Right, really does not matter too much about what goes next. Curio shop, it was the botanical garden that gives me all the things I wanted. The plant.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Right, so now we go to Copper Lane, and that's enough 4 hours off that one. See? I split it up nicely.
Defiance Bay, the city at the heart of the Deerwoods Revolution, now seems on the brink of another. Refugees line the streets, homeless and hungry, displaced by White One's legacy, hoping for relief within the city walls, and finding none. Dissidents congregate to protest and to heckle, calling for an end to ennomancy and the ouster of their duke. The city's militiamen cast fearful looks as they patrol the streets, their hands trembling at the hilts of their weapons. The capital of a country that had not long ago incinerated a god now appears to be a spark away from sharing the deity's fate. I shall be quiet as a calms.
Let's see if Alof can discover anything while we're out about.
Those walls surround the whole city?
Gods keep you.
Rowan's arms are crossed and his mouth set in a grim frown. as he watches gathered protesters. He looks ready for a fight. New in town, eh? You've picked an interesting time to visit the Defiance Bay. All these refugees fleeing the frontier and finding the legacies no better here. It's Animancers, Margrim scorched them, and their nest in a city like rats. You mark my words though, us dozens are going to put a stop to it. What are you doing out here? Trying to get folk to see reason. We're in the midst of a crisis. Instead of purging the nefarious forces from our city, the Duke has granted Animancers dangerous liberties. What do you know about Animancy? It's the study and manipulation of essence, and which any sane person will tell you is the purview of the gods. The Adarians at least had the sense to outlaw it, which is the only good thing you can say about them. It's not like magic, chanting, or the soul readings those ciphers do. It's been around since ancient Ingwefan times, which is why you'll see Animancers tinkering with old Ingwefan relics. Well, if it's been around since Ingwefan times, and it didn't cause Hollowborn crisis back then, did it? Stupid idiot. Half-truths all, but he's an enthusiastic performer, I'll give him that. Trouble is, the Animancers got no idea what half those artifacts actually do, not that they'll actually admit it. Our emphatic friend is correct but one thing at least. Tell me about the dozens. We're an organisation of interested citizens who want to free Defiance Bay from the dangerous influence of Animancers and the tyranny of the aristocrats who will support them. We'll also consider ourselves a militia of sorts, seen as the Crucible Knights are a lot more of a flock of Pyrenean nobles in training these days. Just like a militia, the dozens, except for the training, and the discipline, and the code of honour. Well said there. And we're always looking to expand. The more people will see things our way, the better for the state of our country. Oh my god, why would you join these people? If you have any interest in hearing more, stop by Admir's Den sometime. The Expedition Hall. A lot of free fingers in there can set straight all the nonsense nobles and Animancers want you to believe. Might even be some paid work for the motivate types. Wow! What an absolute asshole.
I'm on the trail.
Keeping an eye out.
Right, if there's nothing around this statue, I'm going to say there's nothing there at all. Right, if I look at the spot anything. And honestly, if the other factions in the city, you choose them over the other factions, that really says something about the other factions. Right. So these old idiots just give you... Okay, so this might be a quest giver. A woman sits by herself, spinning something on the table in front of her and watching with furious intensity. It's the size of a coin and it wobbles over a crack on the wood with a metallic rattle. This is not a good time. What are you doing? Just trying to calm down and trying to talk to myself out something foolish. Something foolish? There's something I need to give to my friend, fiancé, Persnisk. Only he doesn't seem to go anywhere without his new friends, and they're not exactly pleasant company. Tell me about the new friends. They came to our house with their dead eyes and their black teeth. I am not a fool, I know what it means. Persnick makes me leave when they show up, but it's always what they come to do. Last time they came, I told them to get out, and they let them have their fun somewhere in the gift, but not under my roof. Sveff changes you, I guess. The person that can you wouldn't have squashed a spider. I never thought he would. I thought Sveff just made people lay around not doing much. I don't really know. Seemed better than believing he's always been this way. Maybe I could go talk to him. There's nothing more to say. We're finished. I just want to give this back to him and have a clean break. It was his grandmother's. Even after this, I don't have the heart to sell it off. Oh my god. I think I remember this one as well. It wasn't actually my husband, but if I go back there myself, I know what will happen. I'll lose my temper and I'll probably wind up with another one of these. I wouldn't normally hand this off to a stranger, but people say you've got a good heart. If you get this back to him, he'll know we're done. I'll take this round to Pernisk then. This is just an offer here. Just please don't hurt him. As furious as I am, I don't want him to have my conscience. Is that because I got a benevolent rating of 2?
I shall be quiet as a calm sea.
Enough?
Which is...
Oh, I want to talk.
The dozens.
Pretty sure you won't find...
Pretty sure you won't find one among them who stood within 100 miles of that bridge when the Godhammer went off. Too bad, too. Shouldn't there be less of them?
Why do they call themselves dozens? Was 12 Deerwoodens stood outside Halget Citadel waiting for Widewind to cross the bridge there. They had to hold him there long enough for the Godhammer to detonate, so that's what they did. Godhammer? That's what they call the bomb they blew up Wyden with. I don't know much about it other than that. Anything kills a living god, guess you've got to name it. What do you have against the dozens? Nothing serious. Nothing I don't have against a lot of folks anyway. The dozens, they like to take things in their own hands, get ugly sometimes. We don't have them in Gilded Vale, but they'd be right at home there. They picked that name so they could do what they wanted and feel like it was right. Got nothing to do with honour or sacrifice. It's like they invoke Magrin too. When they especially want to feel right. Somehow I don't think she'd be impressed with that lot. I'm sure she'd like to set them on fire any time they use her name, but the gods probably got rules against that kind of thing. Yeah, people hide behind symbols so they can't be questioned. The Duke's a reasonable man. Maybe while we're in Defiance Bay we can get him to force people to call themselves what they are. What, like arseholes? Don't imagine how much members if they call themselves the loudmouth sheep fuckers.
Light, flame, and sound.
I don't imagine how much members if they call themselves the loudmouth sheep fuckers. Oh.
I'll see what I can do. The work of a moment.
Oh my god, yeah, oh, fucking hell. Whoever wrote the script for that one, yeah, well done, Mal. Well done, pal. Don't suppose it to have how much new members if they call themselves the loudmouth sheep fuckers. It's true though. If you ever see a group calling themselves fucking Chosen of God or some shit like that, you can guarantee they're not chosen of God and they're probably some arseholes who are just out to cause trouble. And you hide behind the name of a god to get their way. Well, get back in there. You're sneaky as fuck.
I'll see what I can find.
Problem is, there's people in these rooms. Right. We'll all block this doorway.
How may I help?
Oh.
I'll have it in no time.
It's not even stealing.
The work of a moment.
Okay, so these are not people you can talk to. I should probably try talking to them all, but I want to get on and see this Pernisk. And then I'll come back and try talking to the rest of them, if I remember. But not these fuckers, not these yellow name fuckers, they're just people with souls you can read. Right, so before we go... Oh, that's not stealing.